Imagine hiring an AI agent to work on a project for an entire month. On day 1, it researches your competitors. On day 5, it rejects one option because the price is too high and another because the privacy policy is risky. Then, on day 20, you ask a simple question. Why did we reject that option? Now the agent has a problem. That decision may be buried inside thousands of messages, tool calls, documents, and intermediate results. Saving everything is easy. Remembering the right thing at the right moment is not. This is the real problem of AI memory. A large language model does not forget something simply because time passes. If an application sends an earlier conversation back to the model and that information still fits inside the available context, the model can use it. But context and memory are not the same thing. Context is what the model can see right now. Memory is what allows useful information from the past to survive and return when it becomes relevant again. Think of the context window like a work desk. You place the current task on the desk. You add recent messages, you add instructions, you add documents and tool results. The model can work with everything currently sitting there. For a short conversation, this works very well. But now imagine that project continues for weeks. Every day produces new messages, decisions, documents, errors, tool calls, and discoveries. Eventually, there is far more information than you want to keep on the desk all the time. You could make the context window larger, and modern models can already handle very large contexts. But simply making the context bigger does not completely solve the problem. Processing more information costs more. A large history can contain huge amounts of irrelevant information, and the thing that matters right now may be one small decision buried among thousands of unrelated details. So instead of carrying the entire past into every new task, we need another system. Memory. At a high level, we can think about two kinds of memory. The first is short-term memory. This is the information the agent needs right now. The current conversation, the current goal. Recent tool results, the current plan, and anything else needed to finish the task in front of it. Then we have long-term memory. This is information stored outside the immediate context, so it can survive across many tasks and conversations. But now we reach the difficult question. What should the agent actually remember? Imagine someone tells the agent that Python should be used for a project. That could matter later. Now imagine the next message simply says thanks. That probably does not need permanent memory. Then another message says that a database was rejected because its cost becomes too high when the system reaches 10 million records. That decision might become extremely important 3 weeks later. So the first challenge of memory is not storage. It is deciding what deserves to be stored. One useful way to understand memory is to divide information into different categories. The first is semantic memory. Semantic memory is about facts. This project uses Python. The production database is PostgreSQL. The customer prefers short reports. The application runs in a particular cloud region. These are facts that may be useful again. Then there is episodic memory. Episodic memory is about things that happened. We tried one approach. It failed because of rate limits. Then we changed the design. The second approach worked. That is not just a fact. It is an experience from the past. Then there is procedural memory. Procedural memory is about how something should be done. For example, when deploying this service, run the tests first, then build the container, then verify the environment variables, then deploy the application. These categories are useful ways of organizing memory. They do not mean the language model has 3 magical compartments hidden inside it. The memory system can exist around the model. Now return to our month-long project. On day 5, the agent rejects vendor 1 because its privacy policy does not satisfy the project requirements. A simple system could save the entire conversation. But that gives us another large block of text to search later. A better memory system might extract the important part. Vendor 1 was rejected because its privacy policy did not meet the project requirements. Now we have a compact memory, but saving it is only half of the problem. The agent also needs to find it again. On day 20, the user asks why vendor 1 was rejected. Before the language model generates an answer, the application can search through stored memories. It searches for information related to vendor 1, previous decisions, rejection, and privacy. Then it finds the memory created on day 5. That memory is placed into the current context. Now the language model can reason with it. The answer feels like the agent remembered something from weeks ago. But technically, the system retrieved information from storage and placed it back in front of the model. And this is where memory starts to look a lot like search. Store useful information, then retrieve the right information when it becomes relevant. One powerful way to do this is with embeddings. An embedding represents the meaning of information as numbers. This allows the system to find memories that are related by meaning, even if the words are different. Imagine the stored memory says, vendor 1 failed the privacy review. 3 weeks later, the user asks, why did we decide not to use that provider? The sentence is completely different. But the meaning is closely related. An embedding-based search system can recognize that similarity and retrieve the correct memory. But similarity alone is not always enough. Imagine one agent has memories from 50 different projects. 2 projects may discuss databases, pricing, privacy, and API limits. So the system may also use metadata. Which project does this memory belong to? Which user does it belong to? When was it created? How important is it? Is it still valid? Now memory retrieval becomes more precise. At this point, you might notice something interesting. This sounds similar to RAG. Retrieval augmented generation also searches for information outside the language model and places relevant information into the model's context. And the underlying idea is similar. But there is an important difference in how we think about the information. With normal RAG, the system may retrieve information from documentation, books, company files, or a knowledge base. With agent memory, the information may come from the agent's own history. Previous conversations, previous decisions, user preferences, past failures, past successes, and previous actions. Memory also has another problem. Information changes. Imagine someone tells the agent that Python is preferred for new services. 6 months later, that decision changes. Now all new services should use Go. If the memory system retrieves both preferences forever, it may create confusion. So useful memory cannot just keep adding information. It must also update information. Sometimes a new memory should replace an old one. Sometimes several memories should be combined. Sometimes an old memory should become less important. And sometimes information should be removed completely. This leads to another useful idea: memory consolidation. Imagine an agent encounters the same problem 10 different times. Every time it sends too many requests to an API at once, the service starts failing. The system could store all 10 failures separately, but that creates unnecessary noise. Instead, it could eventually create one stronger memory. This API becomes unreliable when too many requests run in parallel. Limit concurrency. Now many individual experiences have become one reusable lesson. This is much closer to what we actually want from memory, not a giant recording of everything that has ever happened. Useful knowledge extracted from the past, and there is another important detail. In many agent systems, storing a new memory does not mean changing the language model itself. The model does not need to retrain every time the user says something important. The model can stay exactly the same. The memory lives outside it. The language model provides reasoning and generation. The surrounding application provides storage, retrieval, updating, and forgetting. So we can reduce the entire process to a simple loop. A new task arrives, the agent receives the current context. The memory system searches the past for information that may help. Relevant memories are retrieved. Those memories are placed into the context. The model reasons using the current task and the retrieved information. Then the task finishes. The system examines what happened. If something important was learned, it may become a new memory, and the cycle continues. This changes what an AI agent can do. A simple chatbot can answer a question. An agent with useful memory can continue a project over many days. It can remember why earlier decisions were made. It can maintain user preferences. It can remember what failed before. It can reuse solutions that worked. And it can continue working without forcing the entire history of the project into every new prompt. So the hardest part of AI memory is not really storing information. Storage is easy. The difficult part is deciding what matters. What should be remembered? What should be ignored? What is outdated? What should replace an older memory? And which memory should return at exactly the right moment? Because the best memory system is not necessarily the one that remembers the most. It is the one that remembers the right things and brings them back when they matter. That is how modern AI agents are learning to remember. If you want more visual explanations about modern AI, subscribe to the channel. And if there is a topic you want explained next, put it in the comments.